Dirty Sports Podcast. I said, welcome to the Dirty Sports Podcast with Andy Ruther and Joe Prano. Welcome to the Dirty Sports Podcast.
Welcome to the Dirty Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Andy Ruther, coming to you live from Cincinnati, Ohio, with my co-host from Port Hueneme, California, Joey No Chill Prano.
Hello, Andy.
Happy Monday.
Happy Monday.
How are you feeling, Mr. Prano?
Bro, it is an exciting day in New York sports. It's Knicks Media Day. The Knicks run to the NBA Finals starts today. And that's all that's going on. So, ecstatic, really.
Has there ever been a collapse like the New York Mets collapse?
I'm sure there has. I'm sure there has been.
It's an all-timer.
Yeah, it's weird because it was a slow burn. So it doesn't feel like a collapse. I mean, things do collapse, but this is, I don't know. I think the casual baseball fan woke up today or woke up last night and was like, the Mets collapsed. And I'm like, you bet this has been going on since August. So the collapse essentially, ended with them in a tie with the Reds and the Reds getting the tiebreaker and going into the playoffs. But like, it wasn't like this collapse has been, they were 20 games up of 500 in like June or something.
They were 45-24
in what?
In
July?
June, to start June, I think.
Yeah.
And they finished 83-79. So they went 38-54.
Yeah. Which is, I think I saw somebody post that that's a 96 loss season if you extend that out to the whole year. So again, like essentially this was the equivalent. It's hilarious to even say this, but this is sort of the equivalent of like the Giants starting 8-0 or whatever they did after that they won the Super Bowl, and then Plax shoots himself, and then they fail the rest of the way, and I think they made the playoffs but lost in the first round that year. It was like welcome to everybody who, and of course, because we have our fans, nothing like dirty sports fans. Of course, I got a lot of like dancing on the graves messages last night, and I'm like, this happened. This has been happening since August. I know. I get that you guys just woke up to the Mets collapse, but they've been imploding. They've had.
Yeah, but they were still going to make the playoffs is the point. And not until like the last day.
Sure. But listen, there's also the fact of the matter that a lot of real Mets fans had been like, okay, we make the playoffs, then what? Right? We're winning a third of our games at this point. We're gonna turn it on and sweep the Phillies in Philadelphia. Like, my excitement for a Mets playoff appearance, it was no matter what happens, if they make the playoffs, they'll come to the Dodgers. They would be here in LA like the Reds are here in LA for 3 games starting tomorrow. So like for me as a West Coast living Mets fan, I was like, oh, well, I'll go see some playoff games. And even my buddy who was here last week said to me, he goes, they probably saved you $1,000 and a lot of traffic sitting to watch them fucking get crushed by the Dodgers. Like this team wasn't escaping a first round playoff matchup with the Dodgers, right? And I'm like, yeah, I guess that's one way to look at it. I mean, obviously you want to make the playoffs in baseball because there's no anything can happen in all these sports, and there's nothing, there's no lottery and there's no whatever, and drafts mean nothing. I think, and again, I'm like, obviously I could talk more about the sort of the Mets issues as a whole on a grand scale, but the folks who want me to kind of weigh in on the collapse, I've been like, dude, I've been living it. I watch every single Mets game. Do you know what I mean? Like I've been living this for 3 months. Like the idea that like I know a lot of people woke up today like, oh, collapse. I'm like, the guys, this wasn't the Twin Towers. They took this down floor by floor. Like this.
I think the dancing on the grave is the shit talking when you guys signed Juan Soto, and the shit talking to the Yankees fans and all the trash talking that you did then.
Oh, I feel exactly the same way as I felt about it then, and I'll take it one step further. This'll be a great transition. Perfect segue, Andy, into the state of the Mets as a whole. Everything that the Mets were successful at this year. Juan Soto had one of the great offensive seasons. Juan Soto had maybe the greatest offensive season as a Met ever. Juan Soto has had a historic offensive baseball season across the league generally. Like his season is untouched by less than a handful of players. The only thing the Mets did right is if you look at their lineup, Lindor was great, Soto was great, Alonso was great, Nimmo was great. The guys the two homegrown guys that they paid, kind of with Alonso, I'll put like quotes paid, and we'll get to that. They paid Nimmo. They went out and traded for Lindor. They paid the fuck out of Lindor. They went out and they paid Juan Soto the most money that's ever been paid to a North American professional athlete. I have a friend who put it better than I ever could because I never would have had it so succinctly. He's like, I hope this ends like the Uncle Stevie thing, which I always kind of was like, the Uncle Stevie thing is like, I'm one of you guys and I'm whatever. It's like, bro, pay all the people. Like, you have all the money. There is no salary cap. Pay all the people. The dancing on the Yankees' graves and then the whatever. Like, first of all, let's not even get started. Like, I don't have to think about or care about the Yankees at all. The Yankees sneaking into a wild card in the AL and, not doing anything. Cool stories, bro. Like, I guess. All right. Like, if this is the state of New York baseball, Yankee fans are like, we finished 4th and we're going to lose our first playoff round. Like, oh, fucking sick. Oh, how the mighty have fallen. The dancing on the Yankees' graves in the postseason, in the offseason last year, was you no longer just get to have whatever player you want. And not only just in baseball, as the Dodgers have been doing this to them, for the better part of a decade, but they weren't even able to do it in their own city. And you have a situation now with the Yankees, like the lure is gone. Like no one's like, I want to be a Yankee just to be a Yankee. I was talking to another friend about the Cowboys yesterday. It's like the Jerry Jones thing and like the documentary and the whatever, like the America's team thing is a fantasy. Like, no one's like, oh, I want to be a part of the great Dallas Cowboys organization. Dallas Cowboys are synonymous with going 8-8 and not winning a playoff game more than they are being America's team. So the thing about the Yankees was just, you guys had this like weird hold on baseball for a century. Then it started to slip away because the Dodgers got new ownership, and then it slipped out of your hands in your own fucking city. So I still dance on the Yankees' graves. This is not about the Mets owning the Yankees. This is about, you guys are like, hope you had a fun time. Hope the regime was great. Hope your 26 World Series, 22 of which happened before television existed, is enough, because no one gives a fuck about being a New York Yankee anymore. Like, plain and simple facts. No one's like, oh man.
You think really?
Really? As proven by last year, the Yankees made the exact same offer to a guy currently on their team as the Mets did to get the guy across town, and he left. No one's choosing the Yankees over the Cubs or the Yankees over the Astros for one less dollar or one more dollar. And the truth is, no one ever really was. The Yankees overpaid everybody. That's why people went there. Like, I would argue no one was ever like, I just want to be a Yankee. Like, Derek Jeter didn't just want to be a Yankee. Derek Jeter didn't Tom Brady his career. Derek Jeter got $19 million when 11 shortstops better than him were getting fucking $8 million. He wanted to be a Yankee because they tripled his fucking salary as compared to what he deserved. So the difference between the offseason hilarity of the Mets signing Juan Soto and where the Mets are today are kind of unrelated. But the tie between the two this is exactly the point. Juan Soto was elite. And let me speak to one other thing for Yankees fans. Juan Soto was better this year than he was on the Yankees last year. Facts. The end. This is where we're at with baseball. You have the money. Go spend the money. You spend it. All the guys you spend it on did great. Resign. Don't do this. Oh, I'm building a team the right way. I'm Uncle Stevie. Everybody's going to come over to my house. Sign Pete Alonso tomorrow. He opted out. Sign him fucking tomorrow. Sign a bunch of pitching. Sign whatever. Don't fence sit between being the new George Steinbrenner and the guy who's also hanging out in the locker room with these guys and New Yorker forever, New Yorker nothing. Just nut up and be what the Yankees were. Be what the Dodgers are. Be whatever. You dipped your toes in the water and it worked. Anybody who thinks the Juan Soto signing was bad is a fucking clear moron. It was elite. It's the best signing that they might be their best free agent signing they ever had.
Well, let me just address a few things from my point of view. One, I would still argue. Obviously, I'm not the biggest baseball guy anymore, but I would argue. I still think to play for the Yankees is probably something.
Andy, to you.
Okay, to me.
Not to a 23-year-old.
Okay, well, I mean, look, the history to me, I don't know. You brought in the Cowboys. I do think it's a little different, the history, just because baseball has been around longer. But I think to go back again to the Yankees, it's there was a lot of shit talking on this show, and I know you went at people on social media, and the point was this is gonna be our year. But the Mets ended up doing the Mets things, right?
This
the Mets.
Let me just say,
second highest payroll.
Hold on.
Make the playoffs.
Hold on. If you go back and you find Joe Prano saying this is going to be our year in any of my shit talking to anybody, I'll do all the things. I'll shove the L chain up my ass or whatever. That was never the point. The point was all the Yankees fans and the Chaz Palminteri, you'll always be the little brother. You'll always be the little brother. You'll never be the big brother. It's this is the Juan Soto signing was your younger brother hitting puberty, shoving you in a garbage can. That's what it was. The Yankees have only ever had a dominance based on being able to outspend people. That's it. When they got into a bidding war with the team across the city from them and they lost, It was over. Last nail in the coffin. What year, Andy, did the team that bought the Dodgers take over? What year did the McCourt sale happen and the Dodgers became the new Dodgers?
I'm going to guess probably around somewhere between 2012, 2013.
Okay. And coincidentally, the Dodgers have been in a bunch of World Series since then.
Yeah,
and
it's 2012.
So since 2012, the Dodgers have been to a bunch of World Series. 1, 2. The Yankees have won none. This is just a coincidence. A coincidence. Another large market team started spending more money than the Yankees. Shohei Ohtani. Oh, well, Japan's closer to the West Coast. That's why he chose the Dodgers and he didn't go the Hideki Matsui, fucking Arabu, all the fucking every Yankee, every Japanese. That's why he chose it, because he wanted to stay in LA because he was in Anaheim. No one gives a fuck about being a Yankee anymore. And listen, I'd again argue no one ever did. I'd argue they only just had the money. And now they don't. And that's okay. It's and that's precisely my point.
But let me ask you this, as far as like being a Yankee, and you brought up the Cowboys documentary, which I'm still not done with because goddamn. Dion, and now again, I know this is the 90s. I just finished the episode where like Dion's talking about when he became a Cowboy, and Michael Irvin's like, it's different when you come here. And Dion's like, it was. Like, I had played for the Falcons. I had played for the Niners. And then like it was just different. And obviously the Niners were a storied franchise as well. It's like it was just different. You're telling me that there isn't that it's different when you put on a Yankee pinstripe.
I don't think to anybody I don't think Cody Bellinger, who didn't know what Seinfeld was, is going out there and like touching George Herman Ruth's fucking statue's face every day. Like David Wells was like buying Babe Ruth's hat and wearing them on the field. And, Derek Jeter apparently was like mouth kissing Phil Rizzuto's Monument Park statue. And, like, I don't think it means anything. I don't think it means anything to anybody. I don't think being a Notre Dame football player means anything to anybody. I don't think any kid who's a 5-star quarterback in Texas goes to Notre Dame and is like, that's where Paul Hornig hung his leather cap.
Like, that's dead. Okay. Like,
I just
across
think
the board.
Yeah. I just think it probably means something to go to Alabama now and be like, God damn, I got recruited and now I'm going to the place where they've won this many championships in this many years. Like, maybe going to Duke basketball still means something, but like, bro, Notre Dame was beating Army for championships. They're beating Army. So their championships were coming against Army. Oh, that's where the great fucking who. And my point is that in baseball, this goes back to the Mets thing. The Mets have not they started to last year, and I said, ooh, look, it's happening. And now if the Mets want to get over the people from the outside who go, same old Mets, it's, well, you didn't spend on the pitching, did you? And
so you agree it is the same old Mets by how the season played out? No,
I'm saying that's what I'll say. My point is people wake up today and go, same old Mets. Like it's 2007 where they lost a 7-game lead in a week and a half or whatever. You know what I mean? Like this has been happening for 3 months. It's been happening for 3 months. But where the Mets didn't fail this year is they saw the guys who had value. they paid those guys. Those guys were fucking great. The pitching, there was a beginning of the pitching season where I was like, maybe I don't know what I'm talking about when it comes to this stuff. Maybe the Mets pitching lab really is this thing where like you come into the year and this guy is doing this and this guy's doing this and it's whatever. But like in the end, they didn't sign any starters and and their pitching fell off a cliff. So stop fence sitting. George Steinbrenner was never like, this year we're gonna play it close to the vest. We're gonna lowball some people. The Dodgers, every single look at what they've done the last couple of years in terms of free agency. They're like, all right, Ichiro or Ohtani, every big like Snell gets Glasnow, all these like whoever the top guy, they're just like they're in the mix. They want the guy. Give us the guy. We have all the money. So stop fence sitting and just do it. You did it with Juan Soto, and we're like, we Juan Soto, and then we gave Pete, even the Pete Alonso thing. They gave Pete Alonso a 2-year deal with a 1-year option. He's already opted out. It's not your it's not fans' money. There's no single Dodgers fan who's going like, it would have been better if we did it and we didn't have the highest payroll in baseball. And there's certainly no Yankee fan that has done that ever. Yankee fans are such delusional pieces of shit. They have the highest payroll in baseball every fucking year they won the championship. And they were like, it's just because all these guys wanted to be a part of the great Yankees legacy. It's like, you also gave them 25% more than their market rate. So that helps.
Can I talk about the Reds for a second?
Yeah.
I saw a stat.
Also backed in, like, I mean, are Reds fans feeling good about the Reds?
Well, no, that's kind of what I wanted to get to. Well, I see people who are like real geeked, and again, we all know I didn't follow. Like, I don't like. I'm pretty honest about it. But my thing is, like, the bar, and I've said this about Bengals fans. The expectation or the bar is so low for Cincinnati sports fans, and I think it's pathetic. Like, to me, and I know people are like, oh, Ruther's just being a downer. To like certain friends, I was like, cool, win a playoff series. Like to me, just as a guy from here, getting into the playoffs doesn't mean shit. Reds haven't won a playoff series since 1995, ironically against the Dodgers in the divisional series where they swept them. Like, you have to win a series. Like you said, you lost. I saw a wild stat, which you're like, man, are they one of the worst playoff teams ever? And then we'll get to the expanded playoffs. The Reds are the first team in Major League Baseball history to make the playoffs that didn't have a batter that hit 270, a batter that didn't hit 25 home runs, a pitcher that didn't win 15 games, or a pitcher that didn't have 200 strikeouts.
This is, this goes into the the people who are talking about the Mets, like, this Mets collapse was happening for so long that no team, not the Dodgers, not the Giants were sellers at the fucking, deadline. They didn't even get caught by a team. Reds didn't catch them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Reds went out for a fucking Sunday walk, and the Mets fell down, a half mile from the finish line of a fucking marathon. And some guy was out for a walk. Did I just win a marathon? Why are you wearing a number?
So that gets me to a couple points. One, exactly. I just said those stats. Like I don't know. Like, my thing in life is like, don't set the bar try not to set the bar so low, especially for your team.
Listen,
like,
for the Reds, you have to look, if you're trying to be a Reds optimist, you have a great manager.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And it's like, whatever, keep the Mets out of it and keep your like, you're a playoff team. Probably won't win a playoff series. Right? But who knows? Maybe you do.
But let me ask this.
Probably won't. But it doesn't happen overnight.
No, I know. 40. Now 6 teams make it. 40% of the teams are making the playoffs now, right? 40%. on each league. I don't know. It's just like, and I want to go. You and I have talked about this at length, but I don't care. I'm going to talk about it again. Like to me, I find it pathetic. The celebrations. I find it so pathetic, so pathetic. And I don't care if people want to call me a boomer or an old hat or whatever. Like you lose, and the Mets lose, and you're celebrating to make the playoffs at 83 and 79. You're popping champagne. You and I have said it a million times, and I know we totally agree on this. You celebrate when you win the championship series. You celebrate when you win the World Series. Win the pennant, win the World Series. I find it so pathetic. I'm sorry, guys.
Go one further? How about the Marlins being in contention, being not mathematically eliminated a week ago, changing their rotation so that their best pitcher faces the Mets, essentially eliminating them that night, taking 2-3 from the Mets only missing the playoffs because, again, the Reds managed to take 1 of 3 or whatever it is from the fucking
2 of 3,
two of 3 from the Brewers. And then the Marlins have cigars and ski goggles and whatever. And it's like,
oh, I saw
you guys finished 4th.
It's like
it was.
It's embarrassing. It's like we've reached this level on sports. Again, I don't care if I sound like an old head, but like we've reached. To me, it's not even old head. Like, what are we celebrating?
But this
celebrate
goes
winning.
Yes, and we've both agreed on that for a long time. But this goes full circle. This goes full circle to the start of the conversation. The celebration last offseason was truly, we're not the little brother anymore to the Yankees, which we happen to share a city with. You can talk all you want out there. Everybody who wants to go, same old Mets, never gonna do it, always gonna choke. Guys, you have teams celebrating when we don't make the playoffs. You're celebrating that we don't make the playoffs. The Yankees get a wild card. The first texts, the first tweets are, the Mets missed the playoffs. The Marlins are changing their pitching rotation so that the Mets don't make the playoffs and then having champagne celebrations. The idea that the New York Mets are LOL Mets, the Bobby Bonilla Mets, same old Mets, it's laughable because you're not even acting like that. You're not acting like that. You're in the division with the LOL Mets, and you are popping champagne that they missed the playoffs. You are in the playoffs with your 27 championships, and you are popping champagne that the Mets didn't make the playoffs. It is hilarious. By the way, you're allowed to fucking talk shit, but to act like the Mets are irrelevant when all you care about is the Mets is hilarious. And the proof is in, and honestly, maybe it's exactly what it takes to stop playing the fucking game of, I don't want to just be. Steve Cohen is Mr. Cutthroat, psychopath, financial killer guy. Stop with the quarter zips and the little Mets cap. Just be George Steinbrenner. Fuck everybody. Scorched earth. Do with Pete Alonso today what you did with Juan Soto last year. Do with fucking 3 starting pitchers what you did with Juan Soto last year. There's a Steve Cohen tax. Embrace that. Embrace that everyone's out to get you. And be like, fuck you. Don't do that. Everybody's out to get little old Uncle Stevie? What did I do? What did I do? Why don't you like me? I don't know. You're a fucking financial criminal. Who cares? Who cares what you like? Fuck everybody.
Now, looking ahead, playoffs start what, tomorrow?
Yeah.
Like, who are you leaning towards on each league?
In terms of going to the World Series?
In terms of going to the World Series, possible upsets.
Well, listen, I think I've said it from the beginning of the year, even in regards to my Mets. It's like it's gonna be hard to beat the fucking Dodgers. It just it just does feel like the Dodgers are the early 2000s Lakers. Like, oh well, we won the division, but it was close, and everybody like. I mean, I'll tell you one thing. I like, and this isn't me being a fucking Yankee hater. I like the Red Sox chances of upsetting the Yankees. I like the Padres' chance of upsetting the Cubs. I don't like your Reds' chances of upsetting the Dodgers.
What would that take by? Would that just take just insane pitching by the Reds?
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah. And I just think the Dodgers are one of those teams, and we saw it last year in the series with the Mets, and we saw it last year in the series with the Yankees. It's just like, I feel like what the Reds are in for, what Reds fans are in for, and what I was expecting Mets fans to be in for had they snuck in, is having games where you really feel like, oh, we could beat this team. It's 2-2 in the 7th, and you lose 6-2. They're Michael Myers. They don't go away. They didn't last year. So I think the Brewers are going to be a tough team to beat. But if I had to take a team out of the National League, I'm still taking the Dodgers. I'll tell you the team I like. I like the Red Sox being able to make some noise.
But the Blue Jays.
I mean, I think the Blue Jays are the 1 seed.
They are.
Yeah.
I just think it's interesting. You didn't mention either number 1 seed, Blue Jays or Brewers.
Well, I just said the Brewers have a good chance of making the World Series, but I'd still take the Dodgers.
That's what I'm saying. You still like the Dodgers. Okay.
I still like the Dodgers. I just think they're too stacked. Now, the question is going to be, when you look at the Dodgers, is like, was it, we're the reigning champs and we're in cruise control and whatever and blah blah blah, or was there, or were the chinks in the armor that we saw throughout the season real? I would lean toward cruise control. Do I like the Blue Jays' chances? Yeah, I like the Blue Jays' chances, but I think they would have the Yankees-Red Sox winner. And I like the Red Sox to make some noise, so I would not be shocked if you had like a Red Sox upset 2 division rivals back to back. Mariners have been playing really nice. I'll be rooting hard for the Mariners. Love seeing the Mariners good. The 1 and the 2 seeds in both leagues are the Blue Jays and the Mariners, and the Phillies and the Brewers. Obviously, death to the Phillies, but I think it's going to make for an exciting postseason. The Tigers Guardians, series was a very similar feeling to the end of the Mets season. It's like no one wanted the division. So somebody's got to come out of that, but I don't love their chances of getting through the Mariners after that. I think I would take Blue Jays over the Yankees if it happens, but I'm taking Red Sox over the Yankees, and then maybe Red Sox over the Blue Jays. Dodgers are going to get through, and then Dodgers are going to get through the Phillies. I like the Padres. I could also see I could see a Padres Dodgers NLCS.
Look at me, guys. I'll be watching some baseball. Look at me.
He's going to turn on for the playoffs?
You watch a little baseball? A little late night action here in the East Coast time zone.
When does that game start for Reds fans?
9:00.
It starts at 9?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
That's tough.
And basically all 3 days will go like
Mhm.
999.
Yeah, they're all 9. All 9 o'clock. They got to figure that out. It's a tough one, but hey, it is what it is, you know.
This is part of the playoff format I like. I like this first round being all away games for the lower seed. That feels very like baseball appropriate. Is like, you're going to play this series. We have to cut out. We can't be traveling every day. If you're going to play a 3-game series, you can't be like, one here and then we travel and one here and then we travel. It's like baseball. That's how baseball series are played. So I like that. And then when the series get longer, we can move around a little bit. I like this aspect of baseball. I was really looking forward to being able to go to 3 Mets games in LA. Again, probably saved me $1,000, a lot of traffic time and a lot of heartache. So thanks for that, I guess. Take that $1,000 and spend it on something.
Well, at least the Giants won yesterday for you.
Malik Neighbors, ACL, done for the season.
I saw that.
So I'm not super hopeful about the Giants potential this year. I think if you were a Giants fan, and by the way, I'm not predicting this, but the only hope for Giants season relevancy beyond, I don't know, having a Dart Scadaboo, Step Brothers, best friends fucking storyline for the rest of the year is take care of business in New Orleans, which, right.
I'm just saying, then you 2 and 3. Then you're in the playoff. Then you're in the playoff hunt.
Well, but here's the thing. Schedule gets insane after that. The only chance of relevancy is take care of business in New Orleans, win a home game against the Eagles on a short week. Just do the short week upset. It's your only chance. It's your only chance of relevancy. Otherwise, you're 2 and 4, and the wheels start coming off and whatever. I don't think any true Giants fan considers Sunday in New Orleans as some sort of trap game. Like, it's not, no one's expecting, I don't expect to win that game. I think they should win that game, but I don't expect them to win that game. But we've got a if-then situation. If they beat the Saints in New Orleans, then you can pull off some sort of short week Thursday boogaloo upset. Then suddenly you actually have a season. But you have a quarterback.
Yeah. I mean, at least so far.
Just forget his stat line, okay? And forget Dable, in my opinion, having some of the worst offensive coaching I've literally ever seen. The energy was just different. It's just a different energy. The touchdown run to start the game, the sliding up in the pocket. Daniel Jones has looked great for the Colts so far. And I know everybody wanted to dance on the grid. And no one is a bigger, like, never say die Daniel Jones defender, product of his situation guy than I am. But there was multiple plays in yesterday's game where Dart slid up in the pocket, slung a little side armor for a first down that Daniel Jones was never going to give you no matter what, ever. So there's that. The energy was just different. People are excited about it. Now, that being said, Dable didn't manage to get him any easy throws for the most part. He just lost the only competent wide receiver on the team. They got down to first and goal on multiple occasions. And I mean, there was a 3rd and goal shotgun draw call. There was a 4th and goal, like the 4th down call. Like, what? why are we even going for it in that situation? Some of the worst coaching I've ever seen in terms of like getting a quarterback some easy looks, which is happening around the league all over the place now because it's so much easier to play offensive football than it has been in the past, that you can just scheme some easy throws. Didn't do that. And my fear with the Giants is that we're going to keep doing this thing where it's like he didn't trust Jones, and now we're like, he said, oh, we're going to ease him in. We're going to simplify the playbook, all this shit. It's like, bro, you're at the point where you're about to lose your job as a professional head coach in the National Football League. Like, I don't know if now's the time to like keep it simple and whatever. Like, you had a whole offseason with the guy. Like, why can't you just like run your playbook? The one piece of credit I will give Dable, and he should not stop doing this if he was smart. They came out running fast. They came out no huddling. Like a lot to start the game. Like, cool, do that.
Did you see after the game, Dable and
The fucking mouth kissing each other?
wow, bro.
Brian Daboll is thanking the rookie for saving his job. Oh my, Brian just gave Jackson Dart a smooch on the lips. You gotta say no Diddy after that, coach. Unbelievable.
Dude, AI is insane.
Yeah.
Dude, AI is fucking insane.
I mean, that's not a whole lot different than it actually was.
I mean,
Thanking the rookie for saving his job. Oh my, Brian just gave Jackson Dart a smooch on the lips. You gotta say no Diddy after that, coach.
oh my God. Fucking A. I love AI. He's fun to watch though, but or at least, I mean, look, with one game, he was fun to watch.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah. The problem is
I took him, not against you for some reason. I took him in my pick 7. I took the Giants.
the
Lot of
combo of the not trusting the downfield throws and not having any competent wide receiver at this point is going to be a problem.
So outside of Malik Neighbors, who you got?
I mean, no joke.
Slayton.
The ghost of Darius Slayton, Wandale Robinson, who's like okay, but like very much slotty, make guy miss guy. Which to me they have to feed at this point. And Jalen Hyatt, who I don't know, has 9 NFL receptions in 2 seasons or whatever. Like,
this has been a tough year, in my opinion, to pick. Like to pick games, to pick spreads. I don't know. I feel like this has been. We talk about parity. I mean, there's only 2 undefeated teams. That's it.
it was 6 yesterday. It was 6 going into yesterday.
We're down to 2 undefeated teams. And you could make arguments, which we'll have a discussion right now. It's like, who is the more impressive 4-0 team, the Buffalo Bills or the Philadelphia Eagles? It's like the Eagles that just have like Jalen Hurts didn't throw for a single yard in the second half yesterday. They looked like dog shit for a whole half in the second half yesterday. They looked like dog shit against the Rams for a lot of that game. It's like, then the Bills didn't look too good against the Saints for a lot of yesterday. It's just like who do we have more confidence in is the 4-0 team right now? I'm talking
The Bills. I mean, to me, to win the championship,
it's the Bills.
Yeah, to me, it's not a question now
because you got the quarterback.
Yeah. Now, here's what's so funny about the Eagles and Eagles fans and weirdly, like kind of the media at large when it comes to the Eagles. The Eagles are doing a pseudo version of what the Chiefs have done in the last couple of years.
Yeah, we've been talking about that.
Where they're the champs and they're 4-0.
And it's not easy to win in Tampa, by the way. Like that's
Right.
not.
And they're 4-0, but they're winning these close games and they're not looking. And meanwhile, when the Chiefs, whose quarterback at one point was an MVP and set all these records, when they look like that, people will be like, I know they're 4-0, but what's wrong with the Chiefs?
Yeah.
With the Eagles, they're 4-0. They just find a way to win. Their quarterback, he's fumbled away one Super Bowl on his own. He threw for 0 yards yesterday, but he squats 600 pounds. He finds a way to get it done. Like, it's weird to me that everybody wanted so badly to like put a nail in the Chiefs' coffin while they were undefeated in like week 8 last year or whatever. And this year, people don't want it. People are just like, if there's one thing about the Eagles, it's that they're going to block 2 punts every game. And if they don't, they're probably going to lose, but they're gonna. That's what we're not talking about with the Eagles, is they're going to block 2 punts every game. Game in and game out, every game, they're going to block them. Nothing, no reason to be worried at all. They're for sure going to block a punt every game.
I mean, look, when they play how they can play, they're a very, very good team. Obviously, they're the Super Bowl champs. It's crazy to, again, have a half where you build such a big lead that you can kind of just basically lay a stinker. And then you got a bunch of 3-1 teams. Like you have what, 3-1 division right now? I'm talking the NFC. Again, it's been a very difficult year. No, I don't think anybody saw how the Cowboys-Packers game was going to play out last night.
Well, if anybody, I'm sure if anybody did, that they never have to work again a day in their life. If they bet the over 75, if they bet it up to an over 75 ends in a tie and parlayed those two numbers, they now own Amazon.
I was so tired last night. I went to bed after the Cowboys took the lead. Not that I thought that they would stay. I went to bed
in regulation
with like 4 minutes to go. I was like, I know it's a good game. It's going to come out, and I'm just so exhausted. We've had some bugs going around my house, and I was like, I've just been tired all weekend, and I said, I'm turning it off. And then I got up. Baby was crying at like 3:30 in the morning for bottle, and I like looked at my phone, and I was like, whoa, 40-40 overtime?
Yeah.
Tie?
40-40 overtime tie.
Like the Packers were
so
like, good for a couple weeks.
And that's the takeaway from the game, right? Is everybody was like, the Packers defense. I was. Well, everybody was, because look at how they started the year. It was like they were incredible to start the year. And it's like, I get that it's a Sunday night game. I get that it's in Dallas. I get that this is what the Cowboys are doing. They're putting up a bunch of points and fucking barely scraping by in games. But no CeeDee Lamb, Micah Parsons back to Dallas, giving up 40 points to the Packers. Giving up 40 points to the Cowboys for the Packers is a bad sign.
It's a bad sign.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. That's very troubling. Very troubling if you're a Packers fan. The Cowboys we know what the Cowboys are. Like, they're not going to do anything. They're whatever, but I just that's my takeaway as well. Like, from that point of view, watching that conference, I look at the Eagles aren't going to do that. The Rams aren't going to do that. I just don't think, like, the teams that I think can be obviously in the Super Bowl talk in that conference are not going to give up 40 points to the Cowboys.
Yeah.
The Bucs aren't doing that. Sorry. I just don't see that. But again, to me, it's just been such a tough year to pick across the board. And you're left with like, I don't know. I watch these games and I'm like scratching my head. Like, I don't know what's going on with Baltimore. Now, obviously, Lamar leaves the game, but it's like, what was that Bills blown loss? Did that like just start just a psychological effect on the defense is not good. The defense is very bad. I think I saw a stat like they scored the second most points through 4 games. They're 1-3.
Yeah.
Like the defense is just. Now, look, Justin Wood texted me joking about mocking the Bengals. If they just had a healthy quarterback, if they just had a defense, if they just had an O-line, my bet would be looking good. And I said, dude, and I'll say it on this show. And he didn't respond to me. That's fine. I said, I still think the Ravens win the division. I know they're 1-3, but I'm like, okay. The Bengals don't have their star quarterback.
You're out on your boy. I feel like you liked Steelers to win the division prior to the year starting.
No, I picked the Ravens.
I know, but I'm saying I thought you were saying like I could see it.
No. Look, I've watched I've watched most of these games, but I've watched all the Steelers games. And yesterday was easy because it was early. We watched as a family. Isla and I, we got donuts. I said, we're watching football. She was geeked. I've brainwashed her now. It's amazing how much you can brainwash these kids. I was like, we're going to watch football. We got a good game. We got a good defense with the Vikings. But like they're not now Steelers, to their credit, their D showed up yesterday. First time. But like I'm watching those games. They have just too many holes.
Yeah.
So my point is I don't see the Steelers winning the division. I don't see the Bengals. I still see the Ravens. I think you got to get Lamar Jackson healthy. I think they'll fix that defense. I think I forget what stat I saw, but this is kind of uncharted territory for them under Harbaugh. Like he's been there 18 years. They don't start 1-3.
Yeah.
They're not.
And then you get into a situation where you start talking about like, again, the Bills are 4-0 in the AFC. And I think a lot of people had the Bills penciled into at least the AFC Championship game either way.
Yeah.
Right. But if you look at where we were, 2 weeks ago as compared to now, I don't think a lot of, people's preseason, like I think I said Chiefs Bills AFC Championship game. That's as possible as anything else right now.
Sure.
The Chargers obviously lose a very kind of semi-obvious trap game, west to east, discarding quarterback kind of situation, but also their O-line they're down 3 starting offensive linemen. So when you're talking about the Chiefs and you're talking about the Ravens who play yesterday, somebody has to lose. Somebody has to go to 1-3. The teams that are atop their division, pretty sus right now. So but outside of the Bills, I think if you polled 1,000 NFL fans, I think you'd have a pretty decent split of like 4 different answers of who the Bills play in the AFC Championship game.
Yeah.
I think 25% of people are going to take the Chargers, 25% of people are going to take the Chiefs, 25% of people are going to take the Ravens, 25% of people are going to take the field.
Yeah. Look, the Chiefs, they basically own at this point. They own the Ravens and they own them. Like he just struggles. It's amazing how just, I don't know how much of that game you watch. It's just Spags he's dialing up all the right calls, man. Like there was that fourth down or whatever, and Lamar just it's like you got nothing. They're blitzing. I think it was Bolton who came up untouched, and just it was a delayed blitz. The way the scheme worked, it just was like they got you, man. They got your number. And to me, it wasn't the Giants game. This was the okay, this is the Chiefs, right? Like they won last week against the Giants, but I'm like, This was Chiefs. You're like, oh, okay. Now look, Xavier Worthy, I think obviously is a huge lift for what they can do offensively as far as the planning, the play calling. You add him into the mix. But yeah, I was, you know me, I was like, oh, I don't know about my Chiefs pick now. I had him in the Super Bowl. I was already like ready to throw that in the towel.
Well, I mean, listen, I wouldn't be super confident on the Chiefs making the Super Bowl right now because again, the Bills team is 4-0. They didn't exactly, manhandle the Saints yesterday, but again, right now it's who's even going to be contending with them? Because in the NFC, I mean, the Packers are now 2-1-1. Is that right? So it's like you could still easily talk yourself into like a Packers Eagles NFC Championship game. I just think when you look at the AFC, I don't know. Right now, it feels like it is the Bills and then a second class of teams.
Yeah.
I mean, the Eagles yesterday, the Eagles were Baker Mayfield throwing a wildly careless interception away from a totally different game.
True.
The Bills didn't, again, manhandle the Saints. But you're like, all right, well, also wasn't a close game. They weren't like, oh, the Bills almost lost that game. If you had the Bills in your suicide pool, you were sweating it.
Yeah.
Really,
who'd you take, by the way?
In the Bills Saints game?
In the suicide.
The Bills.
You took the Bills.
Yeah. Who'd you take?
I give it for Brittany. I had her take the Lions.
Okay.
Dude, chicks just do not understand football. It's a little close, Andy. It's a little close. They're up like 7. Little close right now. I said it's the start of the third quarter. Little close. I said they're gonna win by 2 touchdowns. No, it's a little close. I go, just like go get a spray tan or some shit. Like let me
go get a spray tan or some shit.
Let me and the girls. Let me and the girls watch this. Let me teach out. And comes home. They won by 17.
I wonder if anybody in the White House, when he's about to like tweet how we're about to fucking roll the National Guard into Portland to start Civil War II, if they're like, go get a spray tan or some shit.
They're probably the same spray tan fucking
like also do your right hand this time. It's weird that you leave that one out. He's got
to have a spray tan.
He's got to have a home tanner, right? He's got to have somebody who does it.
He's got to have one.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think they probably put him in a little thing, and I think he keeps his hand out and he tweets. That's why he's got the Crypt Keeper right hand happening.
There's no way he's actually tweeting. There's no way.
He's doing voice to text.
No, there's no way anybody. I'm not even gonna say it. No, it could get me in trouble with my other job. I'm gonna keep my mouth shut. I was gonna say, there's no way. So some of these.
Well, don't do it. If you're
I'm not. I'll tell you off air. I'm just saying some of these athlete celebrities. It amazes me. On social media, it's like there's no way a lot of people do it. But yeah, I mean, obviously the Lions. They did what I thought they would do. And their assistant or their offense, I mean, is looking pretty good at this point.
Yeah. Are you saying we're sleeping on the Lions?
No, because there's that quarterback problem, which again, Sean McVay got rid of him. Like end of story. You scored 3 points in the Super Bowl.
Now, Andy, you're getting into a little Joe Prano zone, which I like and I approve of. But the NFL casual fantasy football player out there can pull up right now, Peyton Manning, Drew Brees, Jared Goff, Joe Montana, and do the NFL player comparison, and he completes a higher percentage of passes than all of them, and he averages more yards per attempt, and he whatever, and so he's better. Now, problem, they have a quarterback problem. They have a quarterback who's better than Joe Montana and Peyton Manning. Were those guys problems?
Well, again, that's the historical reference, different era.
No, don't be silly.
Um,
Russell Wilson's better than Eli Manning. He completes a higher percentage of passes.
I have
guy who played
heard,
20
I
years
haven't
before.
seen this. I have gotten notified a lot. I heard there is, which I'm fascinated to actually hear it. I'm not even saying I agree, but I have heard apparently the Dan Patrick Show did like a 45-minute Eli. I was like, oh, you guys, welcome to the party. A little late to Dirty Sports. They did like a 45-minute Eli Russell Wilson discussion.
Wow.
And then I saw some social media posts comparing, which again I think are shitty cherry pick stats, which very casuals. I agree, is like you can't not mention Super Bowl MVPs. You can't not, like, come on, like what are we doing here? Just cherry picking regular season statistics.
Also, you can't not mention that one guy was on an elite football team and the other guy wasn't. And the other guy has more championships and more Super Bowl MVPs. Even on what? How about if we just do this? What if we just compare Eli Manning's career to Russell Wilson's career when he was just on the Broncos and the Giants? Because those were two teams that were about as good as the fucking Giants were for most of the time. We're like, take Russell Wilson's Steelers year out of it, because the Steelers were a good team that were undone by Russell Wilson not being very fucking good.
I mean, they're okay. They weren't. I wouldn't call them they went 10-7. The D for the Steelers has actually been kind of a little shaky the last couple of years. But no, look, I agree. Obviously, my stance is I have Eli in the Hall of Fame. Russ, I thought was projecting there. Now I'm like, it's gonna be a tough sell. That was a discussion that they had on Thursday Night Football. I don't know if you saw.
Russ Hall.
Tony Gonzalez straight up was like, I've never seen a guy play himself out of the Hall. Tony Gonzalez, like, my stance has always been, if you have Hall of Fame numbers, you have Hall of Fame numbers. He's like, I think he's the first guy I've ever maybe seen play out. And then, of course, Sherman dunked on him and was talking about the defense. And I'm like,
well,
okay.
Again, I think that listen, Richard Sherman is closer to that than anyone.
Yeah, he's gonna be biased
because he's biased, but also you have to look at the Richard Sherman and the Legion of Boom thing. It's not just biased because they were like, we carried that team. There's also the bias that comes along with they went with Russ. They went with pay Russ. And they didn't pay those guys. And it fell apart pretty fucking quickly.
Well, look, to be fair, the pay Russ, I guess the other way, the other move is we're just gonna bring in a different quarterback.
Or, right?
Pay him less.
Like, listen, that's the whole, you could make the argument, right? If Russ took less, Russ would be a sure thing Hall of Famer, because Russ would have extended the years that his team was really, really good. Then he probably would have extended it long enough where you never get rid of Russ, because look at what Russ has done for the Seahawks.
And that's a fair argument.
And then you could argue the Seahawks have still been pretty good.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, they're
like yesterday, Jackson Dart threw for 111 yards or whatever, and they weren't letting him throw the ball downfield. And I'm not like, let Dart cook. I was like, how about scheme some fucking plays for Dart? But like, Dart had a Russ game, and that was when Seattle Seahawks said, let Russ cook. Every time Russ cooked, the house burned down.
I mean, again, we don't have to keep going. Like, I think he had some nice years. By the way, Seattle, side note.
3-1.
3-1. Giving up the second fewest points. Like, their D is legit, dude. their D is totally legit. And I've been a little surprised with the Sam Darnold thing. I did call. Did I not say? Side note, did I not say? I was like, Daniel Jones is good for a couple turnovers.
Yeah.
I was like, it's gonna happen. There's some wild plays in that game.
Yeah. The last interception he threw, the one down the left sideline, the one down the close sideline, that's a not all interception. I mean, it was a great play, threw the ball. He threw it into double coverage essentially, but the guy made a fucking good play on the ball. But I don't think anybody thought Daniel Jones is going to play mistake-free football the whole year. That's not really Daniel Jones's move. But that being said, again, this is where we're at with the NFL and offenses and whatever. It's almost you can almost we went through such an offensive explosion, and now you're at a point where it's just play mistake-free football and let the big plays come from the scheme, which was we went through a whole era where that was not at all how the game was played, where the game was played in, again, when you take the Peyton Manning statistics or the Eli Manning statistics and you throw them up there against Jared Goff or whoever has played, it's a totally different fucking game.
Yeah.
There was a time when the big plays came on the chuck to Randy Moss, and that's there was a time where the big plays came because you had playmakers. I would almost argue that the era of the playmaker is over. Now, obviously, there's still guys who make great plays, but just we have
DK Metcalf did on that play yesterday.
Yeah,
that was
I'm just saying it's the smarts around football are to a point now where everybody's scheming against everybody, everything. You kind of can't say, and I feel like every team had a playmaker back in the day, and now it's I don't know, there's 6-7 in the league where you're this guy's good for a crazy play every game. He's gonna break one and go. Derrick Henry still makes fucking plays, and Josh Allen still makes plays, and the quarterback almost is a different thing. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, you look at the Daniel Jones thing. It's run the fucking ball, take the plays they give you. You can win a shit ton of football games. They were still in that football game against a really good Rams team.
Yeah.
No, I believe that game was in
Los
where
Angeles.
was it? That game was in LA. Yeah. So it's on the road in LA, good team coming off a tough loss against the defending champs. That also could have been a game that if it had been 34-10 Rams, the Rams just flexing on somebody and being okay. So, there's no reason for me to suck off Daniel Jones anymore. I don't care. But it's turn the ball over a couple times, but also kind of prove that they can play with anybody right now.
No, they can.
Yeah.
100% they can. What is this Robert Saleh, Liam Cohen beef? You been following this?
No.
You haven't seen this?
Who's Liam Cohen?
He's one of the guys from Oasis.
I thought you were gonna say what's the guy? What's Harry Styles from?
One Direction.
Yeah, I was it sounds like a One Direction member.
He's a Jags coach.
He's the what?
Yeah.
He's the Jags head coach, Liam Cohen.
Yeah.
Huh. Who knew?
I know. So apparently Robert Saleh this week was talking about sign stealing. He said that they have a really advanced signal stealing system where you always find a way to put them themselves in an advantageous situation. He claims it's legal, but he went on to say the whole Sean McVay coaching tree is elite at this. He said, this is his direct quote, They're almost elite in that regard. The whole entire tree, from Sean to Kevin O'Connell to all those guys, they all do it. They're going to catch us in situations where they have an advantage, and we have to just play sound fundamental football and do our best. So basically, he's saying like it's legal, but like they know how. And then this was the exchange. You didn't see the exchange? You didn't see the exchange after the game?
No.
Where Combs goes after him, and he says, it's like Will Smith, keep my name out your fucking mouth. And Robert Saleh says, I'll fuck you up. You didn't see all this?
No.
It's kind of tough to tell. I'll play it. Okay, so this is after the game.
Okay.
You'll see. And then this O-lineman, number 70, gets involved and I think tells Robert Saleh to like walk away. Or 72, somebody. Here it is. Keep my name out of your fucking mouth. And then Saleh had just said there, we've seen, he said, I'll fuck you up.
Love it.
The 49ers 21.
And then, yeah, this 72.
Be sure to join us.
So apparently, which again is a whole new thing now. It's like saying like this is a whole Sean McVay coaching tree thing. Now, obviously, the Niners and Rams are big rivals, not the Niners and Jags. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But kind of interesting.
What are we using signs for these days in the NFL?
Here's what Saleh says. Apparently, he said, I was trying to compliment your ass. I will fuck your world up. You don't want to fuck with me. This was the full exchange, which I don't think it had there. I will fucking end your fucking life.
Oh, sick. The Jets are like, he's not fucking with you. He will. He'll tear you down in a matter of minutes. What are we using signs for at this point?
I don't know. Oh, a big win for the Jags. I didn't call that one.
No.
Jags are 3-1.
Yeah.
Jags
I'm not a buyer of the Jags.
I'm not either. Jags have a top 5 defense. I'm not a buyer of the Niners either.
You're a buyer of the Seahawks in that NFC West, or you're a buyer?
I'm a buyer of the Rams.
Rams.
I'm buying all the Rams stock. I know a lot of people are buying Seahawks. I don't know if you see a lot of people are in on the Seahawks now. I'm like, cool. You have Sam Darnold, they have Matthew Stafford. Like the D's are pretty comparable. And you have a genius coach who apparently is Rain Man when it comes to sign stealing, and he's taught all his proteges who are now coaches. It's funny. I had a buddy texting me last night. This is a discussion we could have here real quick. So my buddy's watching we're all watching, right? The Packers. Speaking of a Sean McVay protege, was LaFleur? Was he? Was Packers coach?
Yeah.
Was he under McVay at one point? Or did they coach together? I think they all coached together.
Yeah, they all coached together in like Washington.
Yeah, he was Washington. So anyway, I want to hear your take on this. So we're watching the game, and my buddy sends a text in our group text, and he says, people make NFL coaches smarter than they are. What the hell are the Packers doing? I'm sure you watched the end of that half, didn't you? I don't know if you saw.
Yeah.
It's just a mess, and they fumble, they give up a touchdown. And I say to my buddy, who is people? Who are the people you say to make NFL coaches? And I say, I followed up with, define smart, ? Like football smart or book smart. And he says, NFL fans make these coaches seem smarter than they are. And I was like, okay, well, this is a whole discussion. Like I said, what is smart? Are we talking like football smart, book smart, just IQ smart? And he's like, no, they just act like all these coaches are so smart. And I was like, well, but my take is there are some really, I think, just not just football. Like I bet Sean McVay is a smart guy. Like, I don't know if you've seen some of his memory shit that he knows.
Yeah.
Like I bet he's got a very high IQ, smart. I said the discussion of are these guys smart depends on the coach.
It also
Some
depends
are-
on, like, it also depends
Some are
on
motivators.
yeah, it also depends on the like, again, I don't.
Homeboy for the Dolphins he went to Yale.
Yeah, exactly.
He's probably very smart.
Yeah.
He went to Ivy League school.
Yeah.
They're 0-3.
Here's what I would say. I think that if you wanted to go a straight up intelligence level, straight up IQ, I bet you the average NFL head coach's IQ is higher than the average American's IQ.
Oh,
And I don't even think it's probably close.
It's not
now,
close.
listen, you could get this is a whole other thing. I've had this conversation. I think we had the conversation maybe off camera recently. I've had it with 25 people recently, and I think it's a bigger issue than anything that's going on in politics or anything that's going on. I think the unbelievably low IQ on average of Americans is why we find ourselves in the position of all of this stuff. I think a lot of the hatefulness that's out there is because you can be convinced to hate people when you're fucking dumb. When you're dumb, it's easy. Propaganda is easy when you're dumb. You're susceptible to it because you're stupid. That's why we are where we are. People are dumb these days, and people are getting dumber. You could say, like, this book, that book, this book is worthy of reading, that book's worthy of reading. Reading is good for you. Reading newspapers is good for you. Reading Sports Illustrated growing up is good for you. Reading fucking Baseball Digest when I was a kid, it's good for you. No one fucking reads anymore. People are dumb. A lot of people are fucking dumb. So if you were like, they make these coaches out, they're hyper intelligent compared to the average American. Now, what percentage of NFL coaches have a Mensa level IQ or could go to or could get A's at a top 30 American university? I don't know. Then there's also like the football focus of it. It's like the majority of them are probably like really smart football wise.
Yeah.
And that's why guys, there's a difference between, I don't think Dan Campbell's super smart, but Dan Campbell's smart enough to not be running the offense or the defense.
Yeah.
So, and Robert Saleh is probably
Very smart defensively.
Yeah, but not a good head coach.
Yeah.
And
Agreed.
they're two different things. Dude, you look at a guy like Pete Carroll. Do I think Pete Carroll's a genius? No. I don't think Pete Carroll's a genius. But like, look at the guy. If the guy had decided to run used car lots in West
I think
Texas,
he'd be successful. Yeah.
he'd have 400 of them.
Yeah.
He'd be like, "Yeah, welcome to Gumball Pete's car lot." If you want a car that's not going to go down in the middle of a West Texas highway like those Twin Towers went down in New York, I got a car for you.
Got a 9/11 sale today.
Yeah. This sale's going to be going on all September and all October and most of November. We're going from 9/11 to 11/9, front and back. Bush did 9/11 or did 9/11 do Bush? Who knows? It works both ways. Come get yourself a Ford Focus.
And look, and my thing too also is like, there's only 32 of them, man. Like, obviously we're critical of certain coaches or whatever, but I was like, and there is, connections or nepotism or whatever. It definitely plays a role in some of these guys, like anything in life. But I don't think you get to that position. Now look, there are outliers. I mean, your boy on the Titans has no right to be a coach.
Listen, I'll we'll tie the two conversations together, the smart and the not smart. Okay. I am not a genius. Okay. By no means. Sean McVay and his whole goddamn fucking team of people would never have broken my baseball signs. They would have never broken it. They could have had the fucking. I had unbreakable baseball signs. Now I don't know how, again, I don't really even know what we can talk to our defensive players in their helmets, and we can talk to our offensive players in their helmets. I don't really know what we're signaling for these days. I guess it's maybe like last second, but then like what if it's a last second adjustment signal, then then they break it and then they're yelling something to their team at the same time. Like, is it that big a fucking deal? But I'll tell you this, they weren't breaking it. Now, part of my baseball signs thing is sometimes high school kids couldn't fucking figure it out. Now, I got to a point where I was coaching a team at a very smart school, private school in LA. And so I was like, cool. I still had 5 guys who would fuck it up, but I'd be like, you guys are smart enough to get this, and this will never be broken by the other team. So when you're talking about everybody in Sean McVay's coaching tree can figure out, well, it sounds like Sean McVay has smart guys and hires smart guys.
Yeah.
And Robert Saleh is on the next level of smart because his signs are getting fucking broken. I promise you, Sean McVay isn't breaking Kevin O'Connell signs.
Yeah. It's true. And it's like anything in life. There are levels to this. And I don't even think people put a lot of these guys on this quote unquote pedestal. Also, analytics has played a huge role in sports in general, especially football and baseball.
And that's where then you're getting into when does smart make you dumb?
Yeah.
When does trusting the math so much take out the things that don't have anything to do with intelligence? Like momentum isn't an intelligence thing, but like to pretend it doesn't exist is also dumb. And to pretend it doesn't exist in baseball over the course of 162 games is much smarter than pretending it doesn't exist in football in 17 games where one specific play could change the whole fucking game.
Yeah.
But I do think that there's some part of the American public that, again, I think the American public is like painfully dumb. And so there's a lot of those people that probably do put these coaches on, like, don't question what he did, and blah, blah, blah. And then meanwhile are so dumb, they also question what they do when it's a fucking obvious thing. How are you going to run the ball there? And it's like, okay, because there's a minute and a half left to go in the game. And if they threw it on 3rd and 7 and it happened to go incomplete, the fucking chances of the other team coming back and tying the game goes up by 4 trillion%. Are you just going to run it into the line? And it's like, you're just so painfully dumb that you will and won't question coaches.
Yeah. No, I know. I agree. All right. Well, we do have a hotline here, guys. What is it? 859-832-0478. 859-832-0478.
Now, let me ask you something, Andy. It's before we wrap up the show.
Yeah.
We didn't even really, we talked a lot of Cincinnati sports in terms of the Reds, which I know you're very excited about. So you got a big week of sports coming up. But Bengals Broncos tonight. Ravens 1-3, Steelers 3-1. Real opportunity
for the Bengals, yeah.
For the Bengals here. Do the Bengals? I don't remember what you picked. How do you feel about?
I picked them to cover.
Do you think the Bengals can win this game?
Yeah.
And do you think the Bengals will win this game?
No.
And do you think that the Ravens losing has any effect on whether the Bengals win or lose this game?
I thought about that today. It's funny you asked me. I think it could affect them playing better. To me, it just boils down. It's not. I think Monday night in Denver is tough. That's a tough feat for. I don't care if it's Joe Burrow. Like that's just a tough game.
Yeah.
But I think they can win for sure. I don't think they do. And will I be watching any of the Jets Dolphins game? I know you're going to ask that. No. No.
Yeah.
What a doubleheader the NFL has worked out for this night.
Well, the one thing with the Jets Dolphins game, somebody
We'll win.
will win a game. It's it's funny because we do all this stuff about quarterbacks and whatever. It's like if you go around the league right now, I think if you polled again in my opinion, painfully dumb American about how they feel about each NFL football team, I think that a lot of them wouldn't even necessarily know that they were basing their entire feeling on their quarterback's play.
Yeah.
But like you look at the AFC East right now as an example. The AFC East right now has the league MVP, right? A young quarterback
He's Drake May.
who's looked really good,
Yeah.
but is young,
Yeah.
and 2 dog shit quarterbacks. And you have in that division, if we just focus on that division, you have the Super Bowl favorite, a sneaky team, and 2 of the worst teams in football. And I don't think it's a whole lot different if you go around the league.
No,
I think
it's not.
I think there'll be a couple of question marks here and there. Couple of things like are the Colts a little bit better than probably anybody expected? Yeah. Why didn't you expect them to be that good? Oh, because Daniel Jones. Are the Seahawks a little bit better than you expected them to be? Yeah. Why didn't you expect them to be that good? Are the Vikings worse than you thought they'd be?
By the way, Seahawks are almost like a study at this point. Just like it's fascinating. They let Russ go at the time they did. They let Geno Smith go at the time that they did. Which I think most teams are hesitant to do that.
Yeah.
I think it's way more ballsy to be like, we're getting rid of our guy. Like, especially when you're still winning.
Well, I think this is where we've gotten. I mean, if you want to talk about sort of like the undoing of the Daniel Jones Giants or the undoing of the Russ Seahawks or whatever, which is unless you're like, we have Patrick Mahomes, we have Josh Allen, we have these guys who are no doubt about it, sure thing, there's not a question, we don't ever have to question it. I think there's a middle group of quarterbacks that the modern GM should be.
Say they're disposable?
If I plug in player X at less financial value, do I necessarily get worse?
It's almost like Moneyball, to be honest.
Yeah. But we went through such an era. Again, we talked about this last episode or 2 episodes ago, and when we talked about Eli Manning and Russ passing him, and I was like, everybody. I mean, that was the huge thing when Eli Manning retired, and every fucking clown was like, he'll be 40th on the all-time passing list one day. Promise he won't.
Yeah.
But we really truly went through the golden era. The golden era of quarterback was the length of from Peyton Manning's, the start of Peyton Manning's career to the end of Tom Brady's career was the golden era of quarterbacks, and all those guys came in, and you got to a point where you're just like, every team had a guy, and it was just like, well, you got to play. Like every year we did the like, is this guy elite thing with like 40 quarterbacks?
Flacco.
Yeah, Flacco, Eli, Russ, all these fucking guys. Meanwhile, now we're back to a thing where it's so scheme heavy.
Yeah.
And it's
better for the game, to be honest.
Yeah, and it's so just like top to bottom, your top to bottom talent roster. There would never be a team today that would be the Peyton Manning like football team where they're Super Bowl contenders if he's active, and they're the worst team in football if he's inactive. That's just not
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
just
look
not
at
a thing.
look at the Bengals. We're still talking about can the Bengals go 8-9 and win the Bengals aren't like, tank for Arch, move on from Burrow. Like,
No, I agree. Yeah, 100%. All right, I think it's the show, guys. Yeah.
excited to get back here on what'll be Friday and talk baseball. Like we'll have the one good thing about baseball right now is like we get these through. We'll be through these series.
Yeah, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. You're right. That's right. All right, let's wrap it up. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. You guys have a great week. And as always, stay